Today we're going to be reviewing the 1000 Chapter Bike Helmet. So here we have 1000's latest helmet, the Chapter. So this is a really cool evolution from their Heritage helmet, which really made a big splash back in 2015 on Kickstarter. With the Heritage helmet, they really sought to eliminate the stigma of wearing a helmet. A lot of people don't wear a helmet because it doesn't look cool. So with their original Heritage helmet, they really bought a lot of urban design elements and retro styling to really make it a cool helmet you want to be seen in. Now with the Chapter helmet, they've evolved that design, incorporated the same kind of unique design elements, but made it a little bit safer, lighter, and more higher performance. So before we take it out of the box, let's take a moment to appreciate the fact that this wasn't shipped in a dozen different extra packaging. This is the box that was actually shipped in. So the helmet box is the shipping box. So it's really nice and environmentally sustainable instead of using multiple layers of packaging. Now let's go ahead and take it out of the box. So the retail price on this helmet is $135, so a little bit more expensive, but still affordable. Now we have the helmet, and with the Chapter helmet, it's currently available in 3 different color variations. That's going to change over time. They always expand the collection with more unique styles. This is the Racer Black, so really blacked out. You have a removable bill here with 2 little screws, just hand tighten them. You have their awesome pop lock feature. This lets you run a lock through here and secure the helmet when you're on the go. And it's magnetically closing too, so a really nice feature. We have a magnetic taillight. So this is also a nice new feature they've added. If we take that out, this is a rechargeable LED bike light with a magnet. So to attach it, we simply put it near, and that's it. So it automatically turns on first connection. So a really cool feature. We have additional venting here. And then the nice thing is they've added MIPS. So MIPS is a liner that absorbs some of the rotation during an impact. So you can see it rotates, and it has some pins that hold it in place. So in an impact, this will actually rotate before that impact is transferred to your head. So a nice little safety feature you've seen more and more in a lot of helmets. You have a nice integrated dual dial direction fit system. They have a nylon strap system with adjustable cams here. So really easy to get a nice fit on this helmet. Now inside the box, we get a really cool knitted bag with the 1000 logo on there. That lets you store the helmet without it getting damaged. You get the taillight. You also get a second mount for the taillight. So if you don't want to put it on the helmet itself, you can actually use this taillight with a different helmet by simply attaching it to your seat stays or seat posts. This also has a magnet built in, and you can see it automatically turns on when it connects. You also get a USB recharging cable. So micro USB charging cable. You get a owner's manual. These are rather thick just because of multiple languages. A light manual again, which is rather thick for what it is. Little tags about what the Chapter helmet is and MIPS. Now let's take a look at the weight of the helmet. If we put the helmet on the scale, that comes in at 368 grams, so fairly light. This is actually the lightest commuter helmet we've actually tested. With bike helmets, the lightest helmet is usually about 200 grams, and that's for the really racy, highly vented road cycling helmets that can often cost $200, $300. So at under 400 is not bad. So the taillight by itself is 28 grams, while the little seat post or mount for it that you can optionally use, that comes in at 30 grams, so not bad overall. So now let's go over the fit and finish of the 1000 Chapter helmet. Now what's really cool about 1000 is that they take a lot of pride in the visual details, and it's really clear that their designers have a hand throughout the production of the helmet. So you have a helmet that really packs a nice visual punch to it. Now with the bill here, it's not built into the actual cap as with the Heritage. These have some hand screws in here. So you can see you have to actually just rotate out these by hand. It's a little bit of a tedious process, so I won't bore you with that, but this comes off completely if you don't like it. If we come around the side, it has a very familiar skateboarding or kind of snowboarding profile to it, so pretty domey. The venting has been improved with this, however, so you have larger vents that are more orientated versus the airflow. I actually did ride this on a really steep, long climb, and while it is a more vented helmet, it definitely does not match a normal road helmet, which is more like Swiss cheese. So if you're doing long or hotter rides, it's probably not a good option, but for commuting, when you're in colder weather, shorter rides, this is perfect. On the side, you have the little pop lock feature. This is really cool. This is unique to 1000 helmets, and there's a little hole on the side. And that lets you actually just run a lock through here. And if it gets stolen, they actually replace it. So a really nice guarantee. Cool little feature that most people won't even know exists. It even looks like a little bit of a gas cap with this design. So a really cool feature. Overall, the helmets really look like retro motorcycle helmets. On the back, we have the little mount for the taillight. Another really cool feature, nice to see here. A lot more modern lights come with integrated taillights or headlights. So it's nice to see the option to have a removable one. Again, you have the vents on the back. So 8 vents in total, 4 on the back, 4 on the front. We have the little MIPS sticker that's almost ubiquitous now with helmets. And what's really cool about these helmets, again, is the details. And what I mean by details is like the edge here. With really cheap helmets or even like mid-level helmets, the little EPS foam that you can see here would be exposed on the sides. But with the more premium helmets, they actually cover it up. So here it's this glossy black. And that really gives it a nice finish touch. When the EPS foam is actually visible, it gives it a little more cheap look. So little details like that really set it apart and really gives it a more premium fit and feel. On the inside, you have the nice big MIPS liner. Surprisingly, it's not riddled with MIPS logos. I've never actually seen it with just one color. Another really cool feature, if you're buying a new helmet, I definitely recommend getting MIPS or at least one of the variations of the secondary kind of safety devices. You only get one head, so you might as well spend a little bit more money and have a little safer helmet. You have plenty of padding here. Fairly soft. I found this to be really comfortable. The fit system is a dial system, which is pretty common these days. Multiple attachment points, so really nice. Really easy to get in place, and this really cradles your back. Now, the straps aren't the fancy vegan leather that you get with the Heritage. It's just a standard nylon, but it's really comfortable, it's soft, and you get adjustment points here with these little cams. So that's nice. That's one thing I didn't like about the Heritage helmet is that you couldn't really adjust it as much. So with this, super adjustable like any standard road helmet. And then you also get the premium touch of a magnetic buckle. So really simple. You do have to get used to the motion. So to remove it, you push away instead of pulling away from each other. So a little bit different, but it gives you a one-handed operation when you want to put it on. So you just get it close. And then you have the 1000 logo on there. So little touches like that I think really make the helmet stand out. Now let's look at the taillight mount. This is pretty cool. So rubber, pretty lightweight. It has this nice padding here too. So you can definitely put this on a seat stay or seat post pretty easily. And the straps, although they're a little bit short, easily should fit any bike. You simply put it on there and it should hold it in place. Now let's go over the operation of the light. So as you saw, when you get it close, it has a magnetic switch. So once it connects, it turns on. You can turn it off by simply holding the button. Now, one thing that's a little odd is once it's connected and you want to go ride again, you can't turn it back on. So you actually have to remove it and then pop it in place. You can also turn the headlight on and off when it's not connected to either the magnet on the helmet or the mount by simply holding it for, I believe, 2 seconds. And then I'll turn it on and off. Now, when you first get the light, you might think it's broken. It comes in a lockout mode. So you can see if I hold this, that actually illuminates. And if I hold it for 5 seconds, you can see now it's locked. So now if I click it, nothing will turn on. So this is a good way to kind of store the light so you don't accidentally burn the battery. Now the thing with this is it's USB rechargeable. So we have a little USB port here. So pretty standard. The run times on this are surprisingly short. So it only has 2 modes. So if we hold it again, so to get it out of lockout mode, you do 5 seconds. And that light should change illumination. So now it's off, hold it for 2 seconds. It's on, so you have a constant mode. This is good for 1 hour. And if I click again, you have a flash mode. What's cool about the flash mode, it's actually irregular flash. So you can see it's on, off, and then blink. Now this will give you 2 hours of runtime with 50 lumens. So fairly short, so if you have a commute that lasts more than an hour or two, this will probably die, so definitely have to charge this more often. It's a little unfortunate that the runtime is so short. However, I like the mounting. Super easy to charge. You just pull off and plug it in somewhere and get it charged up. So now let's do a little comparison between the Chapter helmet and some other helmets on the market. What I have here are some commuter helmets, as well as a nice road helmet, and we can see how they compare with the Chapter. So with the Chapter, this is a more performance-oriented helmet, and it has the MIPS liner, a better fit system, lighter weight. Now, is it a road helmet? I don't think so, not quite. So we have the Bontrager Spectre here. It's a $150 helmet versus the $135 Chapter. And the big difference with a big road helmet is their lighter weight. This has the wave cell technology from Bontrager, a really cool kind of three-dimensional structure that fits between the foam and your head instead of the MIPS. But you can see right off the bat, it's brighter, obviously with the neon color, and you have a lot more venting. So it's lighter weight, a little bit more complicated fit system, and a lot more ventilation, which you need for a road biking helmet. The profiles are also a little bit different. And this is a big difference between, say, commuter helmets and road helmets. These all have a more blunt trailing edge, a little bit shorter, while urban helmets tend to come down a little bit further and have more of a dome style. So when it comes to commuter helmets, there's quite a few options. You can go with the Heritage. This is their original, latest generation of the Heritage. This is a really cool GT racing stripe version. As you can see, they haven't changed the profile significantly, so same kind of domey look. The bill is now removable, which is a nice touch. You get the pop lock. You can see the venting has a lot larger vents with the Chapter. And I think the big difference here is the fit system has been substantially improved. So this is one complaint we had here, while this one's a little more minimalist and better looking with the vegan leather straps. It just doesn't fit quite as well because you have this little floating design. It's also heavier despite not having MIPS. So that's one great thing about this. You get the MIPS, the better liner, but same kind of cool design elements. So whereas this has some GT logos here, you get the nice 1000 logo, the finished edges that really set the helmet apart. Now when it comes to commuter helmets, you have quite a few to choose from. There are a lot of smart helmets. So here is the Kuro Safe Sound. This is a smart helmet we reviewed here. Now what's cool about this helmet is that it provides Bluetooth connectivity. So it's a heavier helmet, has an integrated taillight, and while that's a good thing and a bad thing, I think it's a bad thing because this is not removable and not replaceable. So if you ever have an issue with the taillight on this, you're kind of done. Like, what are you going to do, right? It's built in. With this one, you can easily remove it and replace it. But obviously the nice mic in here and the fact that it has integrated crash sensor are really nice features, but of course comes in at a price. So this is a $200 helmet. The other helmet we have here is the Urbanize, which we recently reviewed. This is another cool e-bike and commuter style helmet. So similar matte black finish. Same domey design. This has a little bit more venting. It also has a really cool panoramic lens here. So that's a nice feature. It looks a little goofy, but especially for e-bike applications, I think it's perfect, especially if you're riding really fast, you don't need sunglasses. Again, they have a taillight. This one's actually removable. And what's interesting is that Laser also has a lock type feature. So if I go ahead and pop this out, so this is their pop lock, not nearly as convenient as the 1000 pop lock, but you can throw a lock through here and secure the helmet. You do have to remove the taillight, which doesn't have the cool magnetic design. But again, this helmet is $150, so a little bit more expensive. Has MIPS, a little bit heavier. This is definitely lighter. And it doesn't have quite the sleekness of the 1000. So you can see the edges are a matte plastic, where this is the kind of more glossy version. And just a little details, I think the matte finish, the removable bill, give us a little bit of uniqueness in the market. Now let's go over the pros and cons for the Chapter helmet. What I really like about the helmet is the fact that it included MIPS protection here. It's a really nice secondary safety device that can reduce the chance of injury if you have an accident. Also, really like the visual design and attention to detail that 1000 puts into the helmet. You have a lot more premium finishes and really cohesive design schemes that really make this helmet stand out from the crowd. Finally, the integrated pop lock is a really nice way to secure the helmet to your bike if you need to park outside. Some of the cons of the helmet is the fact that the venting is still limited. Although they've improved the venting and made it larger, this is still not a substitute for a proper road helmet if you want to do longer rides. Also, the taillight has quite a low runtime, although it's really cool with a magnetic attachment. With only 2 hours, you're going to find yourself charging this taillight fairly often, depending on how much you ride. And finally, the removable bill uses hand screws, which we found took a lot of time to remove. So it wasn't really easy to remove the bill. Taking everything into account, we'd give the helmet a 9 out of 10. With the Chapter helmet, I think 1000 has really brought style and function together. It's a more high-performance helmet from the Heritage. It brings a lot of the same visual touches. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as visit us on Instagram at thesweetcyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.